In this video, we'll be taking a look at 5 MLB games happening on September 27, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 10 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets. As we provide these videos on a daily basis, I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 5 MLB games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Detroit Tigers versus Boston Red Sox. The Detroit Tigers will head to Fenway Park on Saturday to square off with the Boston Red Sox in what should be an intriguing matchup. Boston already has its postseason ticket punched, and with no real way to climb or fall in the standings, the main focus for the Red Sox is staying healthy as October baseball approaches. Detroit, on the other hand, is the team carrying more urgency, yet the Tigers keep tripping themselves up in crucial spots, and that makes them a tough side to trust at this point in the season. You can make a case for Detroit since they are still fighting to protect their spot, not just in the American League Central race, but also in the playoff picture overall. Still, Casey Mize has shown he can be vulnerable, and Boston has handled right-handed pitching pretty well lately. Meanwhile, the Tigers have had a rough time against lefties. Even if Kyle Harrison is not the steadiest option, he should be serviceable enough in this spot to tilt things Boston's way. For me, the angle is less about trusting the Red Sox and more about fading Detroit in its current state. As our first pick for this matchup, the Boston Red Sox money line is our full game side pick. Scoring runs has been a struggle for the Tigers, and unless they show sudden improvement against a young arm with upside, another modest total on the scoreboard feels likely. Fenway Park is usually known for offense, but Boston has not exactly been piling it on at home lately, managing just 3.28 runs per contest over its last 7 outings at Fenway. When you factor in the season-long mark of 34 to 42 to 3 on the over in home games, it points to a trend that leans in the direction of fewer runs. Between Detroit's inconsistency and Boston's recent offensive drought in its own ballpark, looking toward the under seems to be the sharper move here. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. New York Mets versus Miami Marlins. On Saturday afternoon, you've got the New York Mets visiting the Miami Marlins for Game 2 of their 3-game set at Lone Depot Park. The Marlins are rolling lately, winning 7 of their past 9, while the Mets have stuttered, dropping 3 of their last 5. Miami has momentum here, and their offense has been doing damage of late. They're getting a shaky version of Mania, who's been vulnerable, especially away from home, and has historically been torched by Miami, so expect the Marlins to be aggressive at the plate. New York, meanwhile, comes in cold on the road and faces Perez, who has shown flashes of polish in his starts lately. With Miami's bullpen also holding down the fort, I expect the Marlins to keep New York's bats from finding much traction. As our first pick for this matchup, the Miami Marlins money line is our full game side pick. Runs haven't been flooding in for either side lately. The Marlins have played under the total in 4 of their past 5, and their recent run output is modest. They're hitting poorly versus lefties too, and they're up against a starter who's been hit around. The Mets, conversely, average 4.77 runs per game, but they face a starter who blanked opponents in 2 of his last 3 outings. Combine that with recent undertrends and conservative pitching performances, and it doesn't look like we'll see a shootout. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Minnesota Twins versus Philadelphia Phillies. The Minnesota Twins travel to Philadelphia to face the Phillies, and the two clubs are closing out the season on very different paths. The Phillies grabbed the opener on Friday, and in their last 3 contests, they've allowed only 2 runs combined, showing how sharp their pitching and defense have been. Philadelphia has been nearly unbeatable at Citizens Bank Park all season with a 54-25 record in front of their home fans. Minnesota hasn't enjoyed the same kind of fortune away from home, stumbling to a 31-48 road mark. The Twins are rolling with Abel, who has been hammered recently, giving up 13 earned runs across just 8 innings of work. Philadelphia will counter with Ranger Suarez, who has had his own bumps with 9 earned runs allowed in his last 10 innings, but he still profiles as the steadier arm. When you add in the fact that the Phillies are clearly stronger in the batter's box, the lean has to be with the home side here. As our first pick for this matchup, the Philadelphia Phillies money line is our full game side pick. Neither bullpen has been particularly trustworthy, and both groups have been among the league's weaker units all year. Minnesota's relievers rank near the bottom with an earned run average north of 4.6, while Philadelphia's bullpen sits closer to the middle of the pack but still hasn't been lights out. Offensively, both lineups have been hitting with purpose during September. The Twins are hovering around the league's middle tier with a team OPS in the .700 range, while the Phillies have been red hot and producing at the very top of the majors with an OPS well above .800. With Philadelphia's bats firing and both pens unreliable, the safer bet is to expect more scoring. The over has already cashed in 2 of the last 3 meetings between these clubs, and the matchup lines up for another game that pushes past the total. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Texas Rangers versus Cleveland Guardians. The Texas Rangers will be in Cleveland on Saturday to take on the Guardians at Progressive Field, and it sets up as another meaningful contest for the home side. Texas hasn't managed to put together back-to-back wins in a couple of weeks, and they enter this final weekend without any real stakes. Jacob Latz has been terrific during September, limiting opponents to just 12 hits and 3 runs across 17 innings, though he generally doesn't stay on the mound for extended outings. Cleveland has been on a roll, dropping only 4 games since the early part of September, and they still need to keep stacking victories to lock up the AL Central. Joey Cantillo has been excellent during that stretch, yielding only 25 hits and 5 runs over his last 34 innings. The Guardians have come out on top in 7 of his last 11 starts, a mark that shows how well the team responds behind him. Texas did look sharp in Friday's series opener, but Cleveland is rarely knocked down twice in a row. This is a group that tends to respond quickly, and with everything on the line, it feels like a strong bounce-back spot for them. As our first pick for this matchup, the Cleveland Guardians money line is our full game side pick. The Guardians have cashed the under in 3 of Logan Allen's last 5 starts, and his work at home has been steadier with an earned run average well below his season average, especially in September where his numbers have been much better than the year as a whole. The Rangers, meanwhile, are limping through games with a compromised lineup, and that has shown up in the scoreboard as they've gone under in 5 straight outings. Given those trends and the pitching profiles, Saturday looks like another under. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Cincinnati Reds versus Milwaukee Brewers. In the middle game of the 3-game National League Central Series, the Cincinnati Reds head into American Family Field to take on the Milwaukee Brewers Saturday evening. Cincinnati is still alive in the wild card chase, fighting with New York for that final NL berth, while Milwaukee has already punched its postseason ticket and arguably has less to gain here. The Reds are rolling out Andrew Abbott, who's been one of their more dependable arms this season, and fresh off a strong outing where he blanked the Cubs. On the flip side, the Brewers counter with Robert Gasser, a relatively untested option who hasn't inspired much confidence. This is a spot where Abbott can carry the Reds, and they need a win to stay hot heading into the final day. As our first pick for this matchup, the Cincinnati Reds money line is our full game side pick. Robert Gasser hasn't built a huge body of work at the highest level, and Abbott's had stretches of solid work. In his last 7 starts, he's posted a 4.03 earned run average and a 1.32 WHIP over 38 innings. The Reds' bullpen has been serviceable, ranking in the middle of the pack with a 3.94 earned run average, while Milwaukee's relief unit, though better, still isn't elite at 3.69 earned run average. Given that neither team's pen is overwhelmingly dominant, this game likely won't turn into a rout. Based on the pitching matchup and bullpen profiles, I'll lean under the total. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.